show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with host Henry Graham. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I also need to let everyone know that the subscriber mode has been enabled for 10 minutes, meaning if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you need to be a subscriber for at least 10 minutes. I also have a smaller channel which is called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos, particularly Latinos residing in the United States. The link to that channel, it's in the description box. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate all the love and warmth and support that you give from me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. We appreciate your support. Also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds. So if you have not done so already, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So the topic for tonight is COVID-19 on the rise. So every so often we hear about a new strain, and also with sometimes with the new strain, infections go up. Okay. This has been a situation that's been occurring since 2019. Okay. It's not as bad as it was in 2020 when we didn't have a cure, a vaccine for COVID-19, and unfortunately people were dying in large numbers. So we're going to have a discussion regarding that. But before we get to the main topic, I'm going to have another episode off in my words. When it comes to Donald Trump, among all the difficulty that he's been experiencing with his campaign and trying to, let's just say, his inability to remain focused and basically acting rather odd, it appears that now he has more indictments levied against him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the video. Um, of course, it's under fair use, but basically, Trump is under a new indictment. Let me just make this perfectly clear. Just because you're indicted doesn't mean that you're guilty. Okay. I want to make that perfectly clear. And also want to make it perfectly clear that a person is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and then we're going to have a discussion, and then we're going to get to the main topic. Just give me a moment. Recently, the Supreme Court ruled that the President of the United States has immunity when it comes to official acts done while the person is President of the United States. So basically, what Jack Smith did, in the light of what the Supreme Court ruled, he prepared his indictments. So therefore, um, there was no information that will run contrary to what the Supreme Court ruled. And now we will continue again, fair use. Good evening, April Showers. How are you doing tonight? Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just that I apologize for the non. Okay, let me just. It's just that I muted myself. Let me just explain to you what's the situation. Jack Smith has brought four charges against Donald Trump, alleging that he tried to overturn the decision of the 2020 election. Okay, that's the issue. Okay. Uh, okay, so that's the issue. So that's where we stand. I'm just gonna continue to play the video. Okay, this time I won't mute myself. Hopefully that will take care of it. And again, fair use.
Presumably as soon as the immunity ruling was handed down, because if the superseding indictment was already laid out today, just a few weeks after the immunity ruling was handed down, presumably we can assume that he got to work on it almost immediately. Are we likely to see the same thing happen in the Florida prosecution?
I think that case is in a different posture. First of all, most of the criminal acts by Donald Trump occurred after he left the presidency, so I don't think you have necessarily the same factors that are at play in the D.C. case when he committed all these crimes while he was still president, even though many of them were after he lost the election, but he was still in the White House until January 20th. And the cases are in a different posture because Jack Smith just filed his appeal of Judge Cannon's dismissal, her lawless dismissal because it violated Supreme Court precedent, dismissal of Donald Trump's classified documents case. So that is now being litigated in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. So cases are in different postures. And
okay, the attorney is alluding to, there was a case that was in front of Judge Cannon regarding allegations that Donald Trump removed documentations from the White House, of which Judge Cannon had dismissed. So there's a different set of charges. The charges that the attorney is talking about is the allegation that Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election. So now we will continue. And if there's any audio, please put in a 1. And if there's no audio, please put in a 2. I just want to make sure that you're able to hear what's being said. So we will continue.
the criminal charges arise sort of under different circumstances.
Glenn, did it surprise you that Jack Smith would take such a proactive step here? I mean, like I said before, he had to move quickly in order to do this, and I think it came as a surprise to most of us seeing this, that all of a sudden a superseding indictment was dropped.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to make sense, Brian, but it caught me by surprise, but it didn't surprise me because Jack Smith has been pushing as fast, as hard, as aggressively, ethically so, as I think a prosecutor can push. And can I share one more thing with our viewers that just warmed this old prosecutor's heart? You know, Jack Smith's press person is probably the person who works the least in Washington, D.C., because they don't issue a whole lot of press releases or make statements to the media. However, to accompany this new indictment, we got a press release from Jack Smith's spokesperson. Let me read it. It's very short. Today, a federal grand jury in the District of Columbia returned a superseding indictment charging defendant Trump with the same criminal offenses that were charged in the original indictment. The superseding or second subsequent indictment, which was presented to a new grand jury, put a pin in that had not previously heard evidence in this case, reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holdings and remand instructions. Here's why I said put a pin in the fact that a brand new grand jury who had not heard any evidence previously was the grand jury that returned this indictment. This is a stroke of genius. After you can't use evidence A, evidence B, evidence C against Donald Trump for any reason. And so that's the stuff that Jack Smith pulled out of the indictment. But you know what Donald Trump's lawyers would have yelled and screamed if Jack Smith had not used the brand new grand jury? They would have said, wait a minute, that first grand jury heard all that offending stuff, all of that stuff that the Supreme Court said has no business being presented to any finder of fact when they're deciding whether to indict Donald Trump or not. So Jack Smith, in very forward-leaning, proactive fashion, said, fine, I'm going to present all the evidence to a new grand jury, but I'm not going to present the stuff that the Supreme Court, in hindsight, has said no grand jury should have heard. So this grand jury is completely untainted. It was a brilliant move that cuts off a line of attack that I promise would have come from Donald Trump's lawyers had Jack Smith not gone down this path.
Okay, let's finish off with this. How does this impact the timeline? Does the fact that a superseding indictment was handed down have to make a start?
Okay, I'm not going to continue to play the whole video. I'm going to stop sharing. But the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. It's an indictment. Let me make this perfectly clear. Just because a person is indicted of criminal activity does not mean that the person is guilty. I want to make it perfectly clear because I do have a lot of people that watch my content who are Trump supporters, and I understand that. They're going to have to prove within a court of law whether or not the indictments can be sustained and whether or not Donald Trump is guilty. That's all. Okay. I know I promised not to get too much into the politics, whatever, but when you have new information, you have to share that information. Okay. It's only time will tell whether or not Donald Trump is guilty. Only time will tell. I'm not going to claim that he is. I'm not going to claim that he isn't. I'm just going to sit back, listen to the testimony, wait until the judgment is made, and then we shall see. I have a feeling this is going to go on going into next year. Okay, so I don't think it's going to have a major effect on the outcome of the election. Those who go to support Trump are going to support Trump nevertheless. Those that go to support Kamala Harris will support Kamala Harris regardless. But I just wanted to share this information with all of you. So now with that being said, I know it was a little bit long since I don't usually go that long. Now we're going to get into the main topic. So every so often we hear this new strain regarding COVID, how it has affected people, things of that nature. Also, we hear about people getting infected and reinfected. So now the question is this: is COVID-19 trying to make a comeback? I first started to become aware. Last week, I visited my job just as a visit, let people know that I'm okay. And one of the things I noticed is that people are not wearing masks again. Okay, because of the rise of infections. The way I see it, people are dealing with caution fatigue because we've been hearing about COVID-19 since 2019, okay? And of course, those of us that live in New York remember the time when we was under shutdown. There was a curfew imposed on us. They stopped running the trains at a certain length of time. They actually cleansed and disinfected the subway cars and things of that nature. Everything, and of course we had to practice social distancing. We had to wash our hands for 20 seconds further, and all that in an attempt to try to limit the number of cases of COVID-19. And of course, we came with of course, vaccines were developed, and then there's a lot of controversy regarding that due to the fact that the vaccines were developed quickly and things of that nature. Um, and one thing, this has been my philosophy ever since the onset of the crisis. Get as much information you can from your physician regarding COVID-19. Ask pertinent questions. What causes it? What are the side effects? Are there any health risks involved? Based on that information, you decide what your course of action. Okay. There were people that chose to get vaccinated, and there were those that chose not to get vaccinated. Unfortunately, here in New York, there were municipal employees that lost their employment for refusal to get the job. Okay. Some of it had to do with religious convictions. Others, they were concerned about a vaccine that they felt that was not properly tested, and there was other reasons behind that. And unfortunately, you had people who politicized the crisis. Okay. And you had different states that had different policies as it pertained to COVID-19. In states like New York, California, Illinois, of course, you have mandates where you have to be vaccinated. In states where, like in Texas and Florida, it was more voluntary. Okay. If there's anyone in Texas that tells me that tells me I'm giving incorrect information, please put it in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen again. This time it's going to be a visual. Just give me a moment. Let's see. No, it's not. Okay, let me just cancel this. Okay. Just bear with me for one moment. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me just, it's just that I'm a little rusty when it comes to this. I'm using my original, okay, my regular laptop. So, okay. And also, before I continue, let me just state that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to join the panel and express their point of view regarding the topic, they're more than welcome to do so. Let me make a senior before and I will make sure that no one tries to flash anything inappropriate, which would cause the people of YouTube to take down their stream. Okay, excuse me. Okay, this. Okay. So this is an article that appeared on CNN's. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Please bear with me, folks. Okay. Actually, this is an article from NPR, and the article is dated August the 15th. Okay, today's August the 27th. So it's 12 days ago. Okay. And the title article, COVID is on the rise this summer. Here is the why and what else you should know. It seems like a lot of people are getting COVID right now. You're not imagining it. We're in the middle of a worldwide summer COVID-19 wave. A high or very high level of COVID-19 virus is being detected in wastewater in almost every state, according to data from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. At least 10 other states have high amount of COVID in wastewater. We're now relying on wastewater data because people aren't testing. We can have other reliable measures, said Dr. Alasha Jihad, Dean of the School of Public Health at Brown University and former White House COVID-19 response coordinator. In an interview with NPR's Morning Edition, he said that based on wastewater data, this is turning out possibly the biggest summer we have had. If I mispronounced the guy's name, please excuse me. He has said that we settled into what feels the most familiar pattern with COVID recently. The CDC labeled COVID as being an endemic, meaning that COVID is here to stay in predictable ways. There are two waves in the year, one during the summer and one during the winter. The summer wave tends to be a little smaller, while the winter wave is bigger. But unlike the flu, which has a wave in the winter and in almost no cases after, COVID-19 infections can rise between the waves. It's looking like it's probably not a seasonal virus, so we will be likely year-round, said Dr. Otto Yang, Associate Chief of Infectious Diseases at UCLA and Professor of Medicine, in an interview with Morning Edition. Jihad adds that the summer wave this year is still smaller than any of the winter ones, but as far as some of the waves go, this has been a substantial one. It started a little earlier than one last summer, and infections are still rising. Jihad is hopeful that the surge will peak and ease soon, but he doesn't know exactly when that will happen. COVID is continuing to evolve very rapidly, and every 3 or 4 months we get a new COVID variant. This summer, the dominant strains of COVID are KP.3.11, accounting for 27.8% of the U.S. cases, and KP.3 accounting for 20.1%, according to data from the CDC and the Infectious Diseases Society of America. Jihad said that these variants evolved from Omicron. It doesn't seem like these variants are more deadly, but they're almost certainly more contagious, Yang said. So you have something that's equally deadly but more contagious, you'll see more severe illnesses and death. The role of the new vaccine out September could play. So it looks like they're going to try to give us to take another booster shot, which I think is what? Booster number 4 or number 5 at this point. I lost count. The new vaccine is currently developed is to target new dominant variants. Expected to come out in September. They're better matched to their variants. The antibodies should work better. And so they will hopefully reduce the number of people that are getting symptomatic COVID, and hopefully that will reduce the circulation, said Yang. Like the current vaccines, Yang expects the new vaccine to work well to prevent the severe illness and death. And we're going to park it here. So, and I could just imagine you're thinking, we got to look. When will we stop hearing about COVID-19? Um, that's a good question. I wish I had a good answer. And of course, with every variant, they have to come up with another booster shot. Okay. Um, I'm not going to tell you to get it. I'm not going to tell you not to get it. Okay. Again, let me make this perfectly clear. All of you have to make decisions. What is the appropriate course of action for all of you? Okay. There are people that still have not gotten one dose of the vaccine. Okay. And let me make this perfectly clear. Getting the vaccine does not mean that you cannot get the disease. What it means, hopefully, that it might reduce some of the major effects. Okay. And I recall I actually had a debate with my cyber daughter, Denise Gonzalez, 2 years ago about this topic and how she articulated the fact, the belief that the pandemic was over. I respectfully disagree. What we both did was we both presented our evidence, which comes from the Center for Disease Control, and also the statistical data that was available at the time. And I arrived at the conclusion, yes, the pandemic is over, but it's still a health crisis. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another article. I'm going to try to share the article from CNN. Um, and again, as I stated before, um, the link to join the panel has been pinned. So anyone who wishes to join the conversation are more than welcome. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Please bear with me for a moment. Hopefully the audio is okay. All righty. Okay. So this is from CNN's website. Okay. And the name of the title is The U.S. Experiencing its largest summer COVID wave in at least 2 years. And the article was dated, August the 16th, 11 days ago. So the article starts, it may be time to dust off the face mask and the air purifiers. The U.S. is in the midst of a significant COVID-19 wave with bioactivity levels in wastewater at the highest that they've seen for a summer surge since July of 2022, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's wastewater dashboard. The CDC's measure of national COVID activity in wastewater rose to 8.82 on August 10th, falling shy of the peak of 9.56 in July of 2022. The CDC says that the most recent data is incomplete and may change. Before it started rising again in May, it was 1.36. Currently, the COVID-19 wastewater bioactivity level is very high nationally, with the highest levels in the western U.S. region. Dr. Jonathan Yoder, Deputy Director of the CDC's Wastewater Surveillance Program, said in an email. This year's COVID-19 wave is coming earlier than last year, which occurred late August, early September. Emergency room visits and hospitalizations and deaths are also ticking up, although not to the same extent as infections, according to the CDC's COVID-19 dashboard. As the end of July, the CDC's dashboard shows about 4 are being hospitalized for every COVID for every 100,000 people in a given area, up from a low of May of about 1 COVID hospitalization for every 100,000, the lowest level since the pandemic began. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. So the topic for tonight is COVID-19 on the rise? Okay. It appears based on the information available, it is. Uh, the CDC wastewater data closely aligned with what they are seeing at the nationwide wastewater scan network too. This is a very significant surge. The levels are very high. They're the highest we have ever seen during the summer wave, said Dr. Marlene Wolf, Assistant Professor of Environmental Health and Public Health at Emory University and a Program Director for Wastewater Scan. We are detecting SARS-CoV-2 in 100% of the samples across the country right now. Yes, in fact, Joe Biden did become infected with COVID. I think it was around July, if I'm not mistaken. Despite these changes, is the notable that the levels right now for wastewater scan are very much higher than the previous summer peaks, and yet still below the average concentration of the height of the winter peaks of 2023, 2022, and 2021. Dr. Alexandra Bowen, Professor of Civil Environment Engineering at Stanford University and Program Director of Wastewater Scan. Health officials no longer track the coronavirus as closely as they did during the public health emergency, and there is no longer reliable estimates on daily or weekly new infections in the U.S. Instead, the nation is largely relying on wastewater levels to follow the numbers of new cases. Wolf says the amount of virus in wastewater doesn't precisely correlate with numbers of infection. That's because a host of things can influence how much virus is in wastewater, including how much water is flowing through the sewage system where sampling takes place, as well as how much virus people are being shedding with a given variant. Despite these variants, he said, sampling over time has shown a strong relationship between the number of people infected in a given area and the amount of virus in the local wastewater. We can't say exactly how many more cases may be compared with previous years because some of those changes have happened in the virus in the areas that we are measuring, she said. The rise in cases have been by waning immunity in the population, and a trio of new variants have drifted from their parent virus, JN1, to escape the ability of our antibodies to quickly neutralize them. Cases also climb as children head back to classrooms in many parts of the U.S., giving the infection plenty opportunity to spread. It's not clear when this surge will peak and start to taper off. Here in Houston, Texas, wastewater numbers is still high and not declining. They reach a plateau, a high level for several weeks, said Dr. Peter Holtes, an infectious disease expert who's director of Center of Vaccine Development at Texas Children's Hospital. The surge cases also came ahead of the availability of updated COVID-19 vaccine designed to better protect against the new variants, which could help slow the spread of the virus. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has now approved the latest tweaks of the COVID-19 vaccines, but experts say that they heard the updated shots from Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax should be ready in the coming weeks. In June, the FDA, following normal process reevaluation for the new changes to the COVID-19 vaccines, directed manufacturers to update their shots for the fall to better match the variants that were making people sick. I'm just going to skip to the next line. The best thing people can do for their own purpose is get the vaccine when it does come available, says Holtes. Next, of course, is a good N95 or KN95 mask when you're in crowded indoor areas. Holtes says seeking antiviral medication or Paxlovid if you test positive. For that reason, it's a good idea to stop on COVID-19 tests to identify whether a cough or runny nose are currently caused by the coronavirus. And we're going to pause. Okay. Here. So I see here we have a guest. So let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host on the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views that people hold may offend some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now, good evening, Gigi.
Hey, Jose, how you doing?
All right, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I was getting ready to lay down. I saw you were live. I thought I'd come keep you company for a minute or two before my phone dies. What's going on?
I appreciate. I'm just talking about the situation regarding COVID-19. It seems like the infections are on the rise again.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't feeling that great a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't think too much about it. But I feel like my sense of smell is off, and I was thinking, like, did I get COVID again and I didn't realize it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, it seems like it's in the wastewater, so to speak, and it's like the areas that is usually being infected. It seems to be the western portion of the United States.
Oh, okay. I don't know then.
But
you know, that can't be good, especially for, you know, the elderly and people with health conditions and stuff like that, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last week I visited my job and I noticed that people were wearing masks again. So it looks like we might have to wear masks at the job.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
I
then
mean, I guess
again,
it makes sense because you guys are so like stacked on top of each other in New York, you know?
yeah. But my concern is that people are going to politicize this crisis again. I mean, we all seen it where politicians from the left and from the right politicized this health crisis, and it made a bad situation even worse.
Yeah, you never know. They could be like, "Oh, COVID's back. Look what Donald did the last time." And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they be putting these sicknesses on us anyways for political reasons anyways. It's all political, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Thinning out the herd, Jose. Thinning out the herd. You know they want to depopulate the earth.
well, I don't know if you heard, but Trump has some new indictments coming up.
Oh, I've been kind of checked out of the whatever's been going on, you know, until it's
Yeah.
showtime, I guess.
Yeah.
What do they say he did now?
Okay. So basically, okay, and again, let me make it perfectly clear. He's been accused of trying to overturn the 2020 election. So what the attorney did was he removed all the evidence supposedly that Trump allegedly did while he was acting as president. And let me make this perfectly clear: everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
So the same old thing is what you're saying?
More or less, but with a different nuance.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean, look, and one thing I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Everyone, I mean, everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
Mm, yeah, I don't really have too much to say about that. You already know how I feel about all that nonsense.
I know.
Just let them run and let them duke it out, and the best man or woman wins. Call it a day.
Well, well, one thing I will say this, and I'm gonna say it in this fashion. I think it's starting to affect Donald Trump with all the stuff that's been going on. And now, of course, people are going to accuse me of being a Trump supporter. No, I'm not. I'm just simply stating what I'm able to observe. Okay,
Well, I
and
think people know you're not a Trump supporter, so.
I know, but at the same time, I do try to keep it, unbiased and just present the evidence.
Okay. We're all
You may disagree.
biased. We're all biased to some degree. It's human nature, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But um, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. The people who are supporting Trump are going to continue to support Trump. The people who hate Trump are going to continue to hate Trump. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, really, because the more they continue to attack him, it really does just push more support to his side because everybody can plainly see what's going on. So I don't know. It might backfire on them. They keep on bothering with him.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. In fact,
Because when he went to, when they were doing it last time, and remember, he was like riding through Atlanta, and he was on his way to go whatever, do his mugshot or whatever he was gonna like. They was out in the streets, cheering for him. So I mean, America, they like to build people up and bring people down, but we love an underdog in this country. So it's like they're just creating more support for him by bullying him, but at the same time calling him a bully. So
well, in fact, there's going to be a debate 2 weeks from today.
okay.
So people will have an opportunity to see how they're going to share their vision of what the United States would be. They're going to have questions. They're going to have to address. Okay,
Hmm.
we both stated what some of the points that they're going to have to address. Um, Kamala Harris would be the situation regarding the migrants over here, and Trump regarding all his um, unique situation, things of that nature.
I just think that all we can do at this point is just, go and cast our vote, pray for the best, and just let it play out. I refuse to get emotionally tied up into this mess like I did last election. Like, it's not good really for people's mental health, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever's going to
and
happen is going to happen regardless. I mean, we only have so much power, let's be honest. We have this illusion of having all this power, but we really don't. Isn't that how Kamala just slid in there? You guys didn't even get to vote on who you wanted to run. You know what I mean?
I know. But in all fairness, this is not the first time that this has happened. Back in 1976, Gerald Ford was running for re-election. we didn't vote for him to be VP. He was selected by Richard Nixon.
Mhm. Yeah. It just
So
doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? Regardless of who it is, you know.
yeah, I mean, you know what? I can see the logic, and I'm sure there's going to be people they're going to if they have the opportunity to speak with either candidate, they're gonna ask their questions. Why should we consider one and not the other? And again, they're both going to have to address those questions.
Yeah, because I'm open to hear what everybody has to say. I'm not so dead set on anything, but you know, it is what it
Yeah,
is, right?
exactly. But
Um,
in,
that's just
but
really
in,
my only issue with her is just her stance on the immigration really is the problem, the biggest problem for me, you know?
yeah, believe me, I've stated numerous times. Okay, I lost count how many times have I stated this. I mean, you know, they could have done a much better job dealing with this migrant crisis.
Yeah, and I also just think that unfortunately a lot of the people that hate us around the world, Trump um he acquired some sort of a friendliness, a friendship with them. So, you know, I think that he would be in a better position to negotiate, like with Putin and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's one way to look at it. And and one thing, I hate to toot my own horn, but of all these people that are talking about, okay, I actually dealt with these people.
Hmm.
So at least, I mean, so and I actually had the opportunity to speak with some of them. So
Hmm.
I'm not claiming to be an expert, but
Of what people? Of the migrants?
yes,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
okay. I don't claim to be this policy expert, but I have dealt with them on an individual basis, and that's something that Kamala Harris is going to have to address, like it or not.
Yeah, and you know, your voice is necessary on that because you have worked up close and personal with the issue. You know, we got people they come up on these live streams and they really don't know because they don't live that reality. You actually live that reality, you know? And so regardless of being biased or not, you just have to kind of be truthful about the situation, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's going to be a problem that we're all going to have eventually if things continue the way that they are. We're all going to have those type of problems.
Yeah, yeah. So it kind of bothers me when people that have no knowledge or understanding regarding this crisis, to opine and then criticize me. Well, okay, I may not be perfect, but at least I've dealt with these people.
Mm, yeah.
But but there's one thing that happened that really upset me to no end.
What happened?
Um, when when Tim Walz gave his acceptance speech, and
Oh yeah, I
at
saw
one
that. I
point,
saw.
he gave a huge shout out to his kids, and then he has a son that's 17 years old that has um, disabilities, and he was very emotional, and he was crying, but it was like tears of joy, of pride that he was showing towards his father, and how certain conservative people mock his son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's biased in itself by saying, oh, yeah, certain conservative. I mean, there's nasty people on both sides. The Democrats haven't been so nice, you know, and they call people names and do stuff all day as well. So, I mean, in reality, there is no good party. It's just people. Some are good and some are bad on both
Yeah,
sides.
and we have to call it out when people are bad, whether they be whether it be a D or an R, or whether it be a liberal or a conservative.
Yeah. Everybody should be held accountable, you know.
Yes, but on a happier note, lately I've been walking without the aid of a cane.
That is good, Jose. You're doing awesome.
Hmm. So I am dying to go back to work.
Is your girlfriend gonna come out soon or?
It'll be next year.
Oh, okay.
So, but she's planning to stay for a whole month,
Okay.
and she'll be staying with me.
Okay. That's good.
So,
She's
I
been
mean,
supportive of you throughout your surgery and stuff?
she's been very supportive.
Okay, that's good.
And I mean, when you date outside your country, there's always a lot of issues that are involved. I mean, first of all, trying to discern their motives, and not
Mhm.
only that, also trying to learn another culture, because the way things are done in the DR is it's quite different from how things are done in the United States, and that's something that sometimes we don't understand.
Mhm. Yeah. Or even Puerto Rico for that matter. It's a different level when you go to the DR, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course,
Even though
I
you have the
have one
similarities
advantage.
in the
I have
you
one
have
advantage. I
similarities
speak.
in the culture, but it's just a whole different situation.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, being able to speak Spanish does help a great deal.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. That's why I say, and the similarities in the culture helps too. So you're not like just completely opposite, but there is different things, and you know it is a third world country, so you do have to be very vigilant and protective of yourself to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. You know.
Yes, and you do have to have some sort of a knowledge regarding the country you're going to visit. Okay,
Hmm.
which is something that I always try to do. Before I visit a country, I try to learn as much as I can regarding the culture, so I don't act like the ugly American. So,
So it's a slow
how's
night,
Multi?
huh?
How's Multi?
She's doing good.
Irby, I'm not a passport bro. Okay, so
Hey, Irby.
I mean, he's talking about I'm a passport bro. No, no, I am not going there to um, smash, so to speak. Okay. Um, no, but believe me, I mean, I am fully aware that unfortunately, I'm going to use the term males that
Uh-huh.
do go to these countries like the DR, Colombia, the Philippines, Thailand, for that purpose.
Mhm. Well, these YouTube streets have been very quiet. I mean, not in general, but around our way it has been. Other areas have been popping off. Um,
Um,
but
um,
around our way, it's been pretty dead.
I'm not complaining.
Nah, me neither. I'm chilling. I just been kind of coasting along. I'm chilling. I dropped a little short today that I thought was cute, but I haven't really done much.
I mean, look, believe me, I am enjoying this quiet time because I know it can get hot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But look, I'm just been focusing, um, trying to get myself um, physically fit so I can go back to work. I mean, I think I have almost my full range of my knee
Hmm.
right now. I'm just trying to strengthen it. So I'm doing exercise to try to strengthen the knee, and of course I'm doing outpatient physical therapy, which will continue for a while.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't have any complications and you're up and at 'em.
Well, one thing about me is that I try to stay on top of my health.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Irby, would you like to specify what are some of those topics to be discussed?
What'd he say?
No, he said he got a few topics. Um, I guess he want that he would like you to cover.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely content out there, but it's just I don't just jump on every piece of content. It has to somehow inspire me or whatever for me to even want to do it, because all the energy and effort it takes.
Yeah, that's something that people they don't understand. I mean, it's not like you can just open up your laptop or your phone, go to StreamYard, and just start yapping. You actually have to come up with a concept. You have to come up with some sort of content. Then you got to do your research,
Yeah.
um, and then share your information, and then and then the people are going to receive it, and then there's people are not going to receive it. Those that don't receive it, well, okay, well, there are other people that you can enjoy.
Hmm. Well, I
Oh,
mean, it is kind of tricky. You're doing all this political commentary, but that can also alienate some of the audience when you do all this political stuff. You take a risk with that.
that's true. That's true. So I'm trying, believe it or not, trying to stay away from it. Um, I know it's also,
But I mean, you
uh,
like talking about politics, so it's kind of, I get it.
yeah.
Mhm.
But tonight I decided to talk about COVID-19 because it seems like every time there's this new variant, and then and then they come up with this new booster shot we got to take, and it's like, and people talk about why do we? I mean, one thing I've said to people, and I'm going to continue to say it, is that think for yourself. Okay, you ask the questions, and then you got to decide what is your choice of action. Okay, regarding your health.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get the jab. You know me.
I know, I know. You're not the only YouTube creator that did not get the job. Believe me, I know. I know a
Mhm.
couple of people who did not, and that's perfectly fine.
I had too much anxiety surrounding it, and if something doesn't sit well in my spirit, I can't do it.
Well, what gets lost in all this, just by getting the job doesn't mean that you're not going to get COVID. Okay,
Mhm.
um, hopefully it will reduce some of the effects. I
A lot
mean,
of people drop dead after getting it. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah, I
so you
mean,
just never know with those type of things.
yeah,
Especially when it was a new, an alleged new illness, and they just pulled a pulled a vaccination out their ass, and in a couple of days, and then said, "Hey, everybody got to take it."
yeah.
Nah,
But
I'll
what's the
pass.
sad part is that yeah, what's the sad part is that there have been hundreds of municipal employees that got terminated for refusing to get the job.
I know, just terrible. Down here in Florida, like DeSantis had to go and advocate for people. They try to do it to people, and he was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that bullshit." That's what I'm saying. There's things about DeSantis that's just like not that great, but there are certain things that I really liked about him.
Yeah. Well,
No
I
fake meat,
mean,
no forcing of the jab, lots of things.
yeah. Well, I've been dealing with it not just in my own personal situation, but also as a union rep because I get those questions all the time, and my answers are basically the same. Um, you do what you ask your pertinent questions, and then you decide what to do, whether you get the job or don't you get the job. Just do what you can. to reduce your exposure as much as humanly possible.
Hmm. Exactly.
But I mean, you had DeSantis, we had Cuomo, and basically he had to resign because certain allegations that were made, um, and also the fact that he kind of hide the data regarding the deaths in the nursing homes. And
Yeah. All that stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
He was up there looking and sounding like a real mobster, like a real gangster. Y'all had a real gangster.
well, I mean, we went from Como to Hochul. I mean, hey, we're a blue state. What can I say?
Jose, did you start following that channel that I share on my community wall that reports on New York? Did you follow that channel? It's so
I'm
good.
gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it definitely.
I feel like I'm more informed about what's going on over there than you because I be watching that shit. I'd be like, Jose, you didn't hear they did this, this, or this? You'd be like, no. It's like, yeah, because they don't never tell everybody what they're doing. You know what I mean? You have to look for it.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Oh, well, I'm gonna check it out. It's just that it's just that right now with my content, and then dealing with, and then making sure I do my exercises, things like that, and dealing with my physical therapy is like, I mean, after a while, I mean, you know, and there are times when it's like, maybe I should just not do any content for a while, but
Mhm.
you got to remain consistent.
Why do you feel like you don't want to do content? You
Because
don't
you know
feel
what it
inspired?
is that sometimes I struggle trying to come up with content because I don't want to just like get up
Just
get on.
just come out just to talk, just to talk.
Yes, because
Yeah.
believe it or not, I do try to create content that hopefully people can enjoy, and if nothing else, that they can think about.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Which means at times you got to push the envelope a little bit. There have been topics that have been popular. There have been topics that basically flopped.
It is good though as a content creator to let people miss you a little bit too though, because when you drop too much videos and stuff, it's like people just like you can get creator burnout, the subscribers can get burnout on your ass too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, believe me, believe me. So but once I go back to work, I'm just gonna try to ease up on my content a little bit because it does become a challenge after a while, and plus you do have to take a little bit of a YouTube sabbatical.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. You just check back in a little bit more with real life, you know what I mean? And start accomplishing things in real life as well cuz you can get really caught up in just like trying to meet your YouTube goals when, there's other stuff in real life you can be focused on as well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, in October I'll be 62. So I'm getting close to that time when I can retire and I can say later to work life and just work on my you know
Channel.
myself and some things I want to do. I definitely want to travel once I retire.
Mhm.
Okay, definitely want to go to Europe.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's just that I have known people that work for the city, but as soon after they retire, they're no longer alive. It's like they gotten sick and just died all of a sudden.
Yeah, because they sit and rot in their apartments, and don't socialize.
I plan to lead a very active retired life. That's why I
Well,
plan.
I mean, living in New York though too, there's so many different things that you can do, and I'm pretty sure that there's even things that you can look up that are specialized to your age group and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just the city doesn't sleep, right? You can always find something to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing I'm definitely not going to try to do is try to go after some 20-year-old, whatever. It's like,
You ain't trying to come out here and start simping and tricking.
no, no. Believe me, I know my lane. I know what I can get. So, but
Yeah.
but definitely going to try to come up with some lighter topics. Um,
Yeah, maybe you can do one of your things how you were doing before with like the funny clips of your video, or you could make a drama video honestly and probably get a lot of views on it, where it's just like different fights that have broke out on your panels and stuff like
well,
that.
I have to admit I was a little concerned because I thought there was going to be a big blow up between you and Ramon on my live stream.
Oh no, no, I'm not doing that no more. Mm-mm. He gets a little aggressive and a little like whatever, but I ain't got time for that bullshit. I just laugh it off and keep it moving. People get butthurt over the politics, and I'm just like I said, I'm not trying to be too emotionally involved in getting butthurt over it, over something that I really can't control. I can't control what the government's going to do, and I surely can't control what the people are going to do or who they're going to vote for. So I'm not going to waste my time fighting.
No, and one thing that I wanted to make it clear is that if we're going to if we're going to talk about Trump and Harris, that we have to be truthful.
Yeah, yeah, that's one reason why I hit the link, because there was just like, I mean, I even talked to Multi, and she was like, I had to leave out of there. He was just up there lying. So you definitely
Yeah,
have to check misinformation when when you're
yeah,
conveying certain messages.
yeah. But believe me, I never came across anything about Trump trying to do away with the Constitution. I mean, um, he has his vision for what the United States should be, and I know that there are millions of people who believe in it.
Hmm.
Good evening, Big Rooster Show. I think this is your first time here. Welcome to the channel.
Or we say he just stays in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, but it just at times you got to push the envelope a little bit, but at times you got to know when to stop.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, no, I handled it very well. I mean, I was firm, but I didn't like match that energy or get like disrespectful or anything.
yeah. Well, look,
But
I
I'm
have
definitely
said
gonna
this.
speak my mind.
Yeah, look, I have said this before. People may not like it, but one thing I've seen a lot of maturity in your, you display a lot of maturity because you know um you handled it very well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just no sense of getting worked up over this nonsense. This YouTube bullshit.
Yeah, or as I like to say, the circus is alive and unwell.
And ultimately, I like Ramon, so you know what I'm saying. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And believe me,
We can
me and
disagree to
Ramon.
disagree.
I mean, look, me and Ramon, we have disagreements as well. I mean, I think part of it has to do with the fact that there is an age difference. Number one. Number two, there's a different perspective because we was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in the United States. So I look at things a little bit different. And plus, I'm a little older, so I seen a lot of
Yeah, we're
stuff.
all very diverse from in a bunch of different ways. So yeah, we're all coming from different places.
Yeah. And again, one thing I made it perfectly clear: this is not an echo chamber here. Okay, people can disagree with me to their heart's content. As long as we can keep it respectable, that's the main thing.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know you was getting your life anyways because you finally had somebody that was up there going hard with you, right? Jose said, "I'm tired of all my damn supporters supporting Trump."
But you know what? Um, the fact of the matter is, and this is something I've said and I continue saying, support whoever you wish. Just make sure that you do your research. That's all. That's all I have said.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because what gets me is that there are people um, that will support Kamala Harris simply because she's a woman, or simply because she's mixed, or simply because of that, or just support Trump for some superficial reason. My thing is this: if you really support whoever it is you support, do your research.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying there hasn't been an uptick in COVID in your state?
In my state,
Yeah,
there may be. I don't know. I haven't heard about it, but like I said, I haven't really been watching the news like that. I've been watching like regular TV. I was watching all the YouTube crap for so long. I kind of stopped watching cable or whatever, and I've been actually sitting down and watching TV more, and I've just been off of YouTube. So, and I usually watch my news and stuff on YouTube, not on the TV.
I see.
But I haven't heard anything about it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But I think part of the problem is people are suffering from caution fatigue because we've been hearing about this illness for almost 5 years.
Mhm.
So, and it's like people are getting tired of hearing it, and then every next thing you know, this is new variant that comes out, and then they come up with this booster shot and things of that nature. So,
Yeah. Oh
oh, I
wow.
am really
Sorry to
am
hear that.
sorry for your loss, sir. I really
Oh
am sorry
wow.
for your loss.
Mm.
Well, all I can say is um, our thoughts and our prayers are with you and your family with your
Yeah.
loss. I'm not going to claim to understand what it feels because everyone deals with grief differently. Um, in fact, Sunday was my nephew's birthday. I think he would have been 50. He just recently passed away, so
Oh.
we gathered to in his memory.
Mhm.
So and
Sorry,
look,
Jose.
yeah. So I mean, and I think look, as long as we have fond memories of our loved ones, they'll forever live in our hearts.
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyway, anything else that's on your mind, Gigi?
No, not really. Like I said, I don't have much charge, so I figured I'd just come up here and talk to you till you got down, until I died out. My battery died out because you was up here by yourself reading.
You know what? At this point, I'm used to it.
So let me go over here and chit chat with Jose. But
Well,
no, thank you. Are you gonna end the stream?
yeah, you know what? Yeah, because you know why? Because I just want one thing about me. once I speak about what I need to speak on, I don't believe in believing the point. Okay.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: when it comes to your health, um, just do what you know is best for you, as long as you have the facts.
Hmm. Well, you got a good hour and a half, so you're good
Yeah.
of
Okay.
content.
Believe
How
me,
are
I
those
don't.
watch time hours looking, Jose?
Something. It seems like it hasn't. It's been. I don't know. It seems like some kind of decline somewhat. So maybe I need to stop limiting my content.
Yeah, you're gonna have to switch it up once it starts getting stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Believe me, I'll try something a little different.
Why don't you see if
It,
you can, if Angry Biracial will let you interview him? You're still kind of cool with him. I see you over there sometimes. Maybe you can get an interview with Angry.
well,
That'll
you know what? I
that'll.
haven't. Yeah. You know what? In all fairness, I have not seen his content for a long time. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with him. It's just that actually it's been 3 years. It's just that listening to the same talk about with his message and his reaction videos. Um, let's just say that he in his lane and I'm in on my lane because
Yeah, no, I know. I was just thinking of like interviewees type of, whatever. Definitely got to switch it up, and liven things up. So that's why, hey, like or don't like Angry Biracial, you can't say he's not entertaining. Okay, he's a character.
oh he's definitely that. He's definitely that. I will give him that. And I still and I still speak with him now and then on Instagram. It's just like I said, it's just that everyone's different, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm. Well, all right, Jose, thank you for letting me up, and shout out to the chat, shout out to the playback game. Make sure you guys like and comment for Jose, share, and stay safe. And everybody have
Well,
a blessed night.
thank you, and you're always welcome on my in my cyber home.
Of course, thank you, and the same for you. I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon.
All right, take care.
Okay, good night.
So
Bye.
good night. So let me just summarize. Okay, I mean we have heard talk about the cases going up. I'm just going to say, do what you can to make sure that you're in good health. Okay, whether you take the jab or don't take the jab, whether you take the booster, don't take the booster. Plus, do whatever you can to reduce your exposure to COVID-19 because unfortunately we have people who are extremes from both sides of the fence. Okay. I will be talking about this topic as it pertains to Latinos on Thursday night on my backup channel. Okay. So I'm just going to give you some facts. Um, Starting next week, I'm going to try to come up with some different topics. Maybe interview some people um, that I have never had a chance to interview. Try to make it interesting. Okay. I mean, I really don't want to get into any more political stuff because after a while it does gets a little bit annoying. But my final word is do what you think is best for yourself. A huge shout out to everyone in the chat. A huge shout out to all those who will watch this on the playback. And of course, you're more than welcome to opine. Just try to keep it respectable because if you don't, your comments are going to be deleted. It is that simple. And I'm just going to close by the same way I always close. We must do everything possible to minimize our presence from the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do that, we will be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, saying good night, take care, be the best version of yourself, and peace.